Good morning, divine beings, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending where you are on this earth. Maya is going to hop on in a minute, and we're going to talk about Pluto and Capricorn. And Pluto and Capricorn started in 2008, and it will end in 2024. Both Maya and I have lots of Capricorn placements. So we're going to talk about how this both affected our charts, our personal lives, and the collective. So let her in. Waiting. Hey Maya, how are you?
I'm great, Sarah. How are you? So good to see you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you too. I'm excited to finally talk to you one on one. This is awesome.
I know. Can you hear me okay? Because let me just see. I seem to. Okay, that's the best I can do in terms of the volume. Can you hear me
Yeah,
loud and clear?
loud and clear. Yeah.
Fantastic. How are you? How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I mean, we had the started the Chiron retrograde yesterday, and I did some really good shadow work with that, with some generational curses, and I'm free of that now. I did some cord cutting, and I feel a lot better.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
What a way to spend summer.
What's that?
What a way to spend summer. Do shadow work. Absolutely.
Well, it's been really cloudy here. I don't know. I know you're in the UK, right? So it's pretty rainy there all the time, right?
It's like so sunny. It's like California today.
Oh,
It's
really?
ridiculous. Too hot. It's like we complain about the weather here. Like, no, we don't want sun. It's too much, too much. It
That's
really is crazy.
because it's like the reverse here. It's like we're getting like all the UK weather here. It's been like nonstop, like cloudy, rainy. I guess it's like I'm doing like the Celsius Fahrenheit version. It's like 20, 21 degrees here every day. So yeah, it's kind of murky. So yeah,
I love that.
that's the
You
worst.
see, remind me what your moon is.
My moon is in Cancer in the seventh house.
Oh my God, I'm Capricorn, meaning,
Really?
well, my partner is moon in Cancer as well. I love moon in Cancer. But my point was, I love miserable weather.
Really?
Moon in Capricorn, I really feel at home in like gray
Yeah.
and, a bit depressing and a bit dark. Love it.
Yeah, it like eases you, it puts you at ease, it makes you feel relaxed.
Yeah, yeah, moon in Capricorn. I mean, it's like my home is what's kind of like a gray. And, I loved rain since I can remember. I grew up on Mediterranean where it was always hot. And I was just bored. I had blonde hair like you because it was sunshine 24 hours a day, whatever,
Right.
12 months a year. And yeah, so I really like English weather. So I wish I was in your place now.
Is that why you chose to live in England or what?
The, I wouldn't say that's what I chose, no, but it was certainly a bonus, a major bonus. Like, I
Yeah.
absolutely, it's like, yeah, I do. I mean, occasionally if it was, non-stop gray and miserable, yeah, I mean, I do like blue skies, but I don't like heat. So yeah, anyway.
Okay, yeah, well that's like very Capricorn of you.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly. Cold, exactly. Yeah.
definitely. So you said that you have a Capricorn moon, and which house
hmm
is it again?
What degree did you say?
Yeah, which house of the
Oh, yes, sorry, I couldn't hear. So it's 9-degree Capricorn and ninth house.
ninth
So
house?
in ninth house, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what do you have any other Capricorn placements?
No, that's and my MC, my medium coeli, right? My
Okay.
MC,
Yeah.
and I will have Juno and Athena.
Mhm.
Yeah, those two asteroids as well. And yeah, that's about it in terms of
Okay.
Capricorn. And you are Sun in Capricorn, aren't you?
My sun and ascendant are both in Capricorn. Yeah.
Ooh.
And my also in Capricorn.
What is it else? Sorry, ascendant Sun.
My Mercury. So my
I
Mercury
didn't
is at three
see.
degrees Capricorn. Yeah, and my
So
12th
what
house.
did you say?
Yeah.
My partner has also Mercury in Capricorn. His sense of humor is dry. I mean, it's just like, I'm like, really? Like a funeral humor, you know?
Yeah. And we find the weirdest things funny. Like some bizarre things. Like not all my friends enjoy my sense of humor. A lot of them do, but not all the time. So like if someone's like getting hurt or something, but they're not really getting hurt, it just like it looks like they're about to get hurt, but they don't get hurt, they don't get killed or anything. It's like I find that kind of funny, like that someone is in a situation. It's dark humor. I think we
I
enjoy
know.
Mercury.
It so is. It's like I could say, it's not like you're mean people, but you find meanness funny, I
Yeah,
think, and like it's like difficult. No, I mean we are. I'm Mercury in Gemini, so it's like we are in conjunct. But he really taught me what comedy is. With him,
yeah,
I actually learned substantial comedy,
yeah,
comedy with substance, as opposed to just like too lighthearted. So I
yeah.
love your Mercury, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the romantic comedy kind of, humor.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, it's more like somebody might be in a perilous situation and they got themselves into a perilous situation in a really ridiculous way. And we find that to be humorous. It's like we're kind of sitting back. And I compare it to like those old Muppets, Statler and Waldorf. I don't know if you know who they are. And they're like sitting
Mhm.
on,
Oh, yeah. In the up in the thingy. What?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The two old people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they're just like laughing and what goes wrong. And that's kind of what we do. I mean, we're kind of jerks that way. So it's
I love it. I love it.
funny. We just like sit back and watch the show. Yeah.
I know.
So anyway, so we're going to talk today about, hey Nate, so we're going to talk today about how our Capricorn placements have been affected since Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, which is quite a while ago now. It's almost 13 years ago, or about 13 years ago. And we will finish Pluto in Capricorn in 2024, which is
Mhm.
about 3 years from now. And, a lot has happened since 2008 for the collective as well. I guess before we start talking about our personal placements, I just wanted to quickly go over just Pluto and Sag. And then when Pluto went to Capricorn, kind of how things changed on a world scale. So,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. And don't you think like the tone of the world changed when Pluto went into Capricorn, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I can't say. I'd love to hear you. I mean, I'm thinking, God, I'm showing my age here now, but that's been a long time ago, and I can't remember now. I know that it was squaring so it's in my eighth, right, when it's in Sag. And I
Mhm.
was never big on politics and watching what the world, I mean, I kind of, in a way, yes, but not too much. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking my time with Pluto in Sag towards the end, particularly as it was squaring my nodal axis,
Mhm.
it was just like death and rebirth, like really like incessant, like I was literally being like broken up and then remolded.
Wow.
Nothing too horrific. I mean, I'm relatively lucky in my life. I mean, I don't have major, trauma.
Yeah.
I have memory of the
Yeah.
past life trauma, but that's it separate. So yeah, it was like, but it was what I'm getting at essentially. It was exciting for
Yes.
me. Thinking Sag was exciting, right? Particularly that it's Sag. I mean, it's excitement and
Yes.
enthusiasm, right? And
Yeah.
then for me, it's eighth house, so it's like going really. I don't know, just get a real flavor of scorpionic vibes there,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and positivity. You see, because I have Sag in eighth, so that also
Yeah.
means like when Pluto is in Sag, I felt like the shadow work, right? All the darkness. There was joy to it, not in darkness itself, but facing darkness
Yeah.
would have been more joyous, right?
Right. It
So
felt
that's kind of yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How about you? What did you? What's your memory of that time?
So I was a teenager going, and then I was about when it ended. I was 24 years old when Pluto and Sag ended. So what I remember of that time was I felt like people didn't take things as seriously necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was actually watching some Saturday Night Live clips from like the Pluto and Sag era. And my daughter, she came to watch. She's like, why are these people acting this way? Like, they're so excited. And I was thinking about like TGA Fridays. I don't know if you guys have that in the UK. And like, do you have that restaurant in the UK? Because I know it's
Our
a
restaurant, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
If you remember, Maya, like how they would wear like the bling, like the buttons, and they would like act all friendly, and everything was exciting. And and I felt like that was like the tone that people were just like excited to be out, and people were just very friendly in general. I think people had less not boundaries, because I think boundaries are healthy, but less barriers to getting to know each other. Like
Mhm.
neighbors were more friendly to each other, but at the same time, like because it was Sag, people's religious beliefs were more dogmatic, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Bush was in office at that time in our country, and he was, very, I would say, like, had very strong religious beliefs, and the country kind of
Mhm.
followed that tone. So
Mhm.
when Pluto went to Capricorn around 2008, and we had Obama, who really wasn't like into that kind of like family values and all of that. But then we had the bank crash, and
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
had to go in and save everybody because people were like out of control with their spending in Sag, because Sag is big, because Jupiter rules
Yes.
Sag, so people got these like big McMansions. And I don't know like what the housing market was like that in the UK. Like, did people buy property like that was maybe too overboard for them?
No, I don't think it was as bad as in the US. That's certainly not my recollection of that time. I think generally UK and British people, if you like, are more reserved in every sense of the word. So they're more cautious and not none of
Right.
that kind of flamboyancy that US people have, maybe
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what curtailed it. So I don't think we had had it as bad as you. Although financial crash was happening around the world, wasn't it? I mean, so
Yeah. It was like,
but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
People overspent their money in general.
Mm.
They went overboard because Sag is like, big ideas, grandiose. And then Capricorn, it's like, we're going to learn your lesson because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, right? So everyone had to learn their lesson. So like Big Daddy government had to swoop in and
Mhm,
help
mhm,
everybody out. And it seems like ever since 2008, there's been more and more control from the governments of the world and like less
mhm,
individual liberties in general. So,
mhm.
and I know like with, the past 18 months, no matter what people think about what's going on, there definitely has been more government interference.
Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. What I've been noticing for me, Pluto in Capricorn, so I'm less, kind of societally, culturally kind of thing more. I feel that people were starting to feel like the whole concept of soul.
Mm-hmm.
Because so just like a little disclaimer, maybe even that I practice evolutionary astrology. So that's my my thing. And evolutionary astrology, Pluto is the soul. It's the kind of the what propels us to keep reincarnating. So I believe in
Right,
past lives and all that. So
right.
and we keep reincarnating because we have a desires. We have desires that we still want to play out in this
Yes.
body in this matter, right? And so I feel the whole and so I also so that's Pluto amongst other things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this kind of soul, essentially our soul is Pluto in our chart, right?
Right.
But then in Capricorn, and Capricorn is also safety.
Yes.
It's such a structure that holds you. It's a container that you feel you can. I speak as a moon in Capricorn. My emotions are something I lovingly know how to contain, and actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's a nurturing experience. So I
Yes.
think having Pluto in Capricorn gave us, on a mass scale, like people generally were kind of becoming more curious about the soul, but also less frightened of it because soul. There is a romantic part of us talking about soul. It's like soul and soulful, but really, soul can be terrifying because it's the part of us that if we unleash, we just we are dismantling Pluto in Capricorn, the structures that are there to hold us in check,
Right.
right? So I feel
Correct.
like as a society, we were starting to break away from those structures, societal and cultural, and to
Yeah.
say actually, so like the whole which I think it's your generation, Pluto in Scorpio, right? And you were what age would you be at the time of Pluto in Capricorn?
When Pluto was in Capricorn, let's see. Um,
2008.
Probably, I'm trying to do the math.
So
Yes,
in your
I was 24.
okay, and you are end of or early Pluto in Scorpio.
I'm early because so you probably know it's like in 83 it was in Libra, and then in
Mhm.
84 it went into Capricorn, I mean, sorry, not Capricorn, Scorpio.
Scorpio, yeah, and then
Right,
back.
back to
Yeah,
Libra.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm at the very beginning before it
And so
retrograde.
what I mean, yes, at the very beginning. So what I mean by this kind of, I feel the Pluto in Scorpio generation and the younger ones, the whole spectrum of Pluto in Scorpio, right, then came onto scene to actually help us with Pluto in Capricorn to kind of go, look, witchcraft is okay. We can own the real witches, or that whole world that's beyond the, you know, the religion as we knew it, Capricorn or Sagittarius type, right?
Yeah.
So Pluto in Capricorn, I feel like opened the doors to these taboos, you know, societal taboos, and it felt for the first time safe to actually come out and actually build your own structures around it. So I mean, it could be the world I'm actually personally, you know, familiar with because it's part of my you know, field of interest, I suppose.
Right.
But it looks like these are not marginalized people anymore. They're kind of joining forces and they're becoming almost like mainstream. So they're creating their own Capricorn structure with Pluto in Capricorn. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially with social media, like how you and I are connecting right now. So people who are, you know, in the spiritual community and aren't in like organized religion, right? Like we're kind of organizing ourselves in a way, aren't we?
Exactly. And another thing that was also the way I kind of, well, well, two things, but I'll start with this one. So I feel like Pluto in Capricorn. So if I'm thinking of Pluto as soul, right, and Capricorn structure, for instance, and so Pluto in Capricorn all of a sudden, and also form, right? Capricorn is also form, like things we can see and we can, you know, like sculpture kind of form, right? So yeah. And so Pluto in Capricorn made us aware of our own soul more so than any other time, I feel, and we became more and more okay with facing it and you know, like bring it out and up and all that. And then we had Saturn Pluto conjunction last January, and I feel like that we were building up to that moment to almost like, because when Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn came together, I felt like we all collectively had a major, like a dark night of the soul, because we were full on face on with the soul from, but we had a form of it. We could, for the first time, and I'm speaking in these terms, not for real maybe, but in energetically we faced it for the first time. Correct. And I think no one's the same after that conjunction. No one. I mean, pandemic obviously did helped to kind of change the world, but it's also, I think, even way before then we could have. I mean, it's not just that, is what I mean.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, after that conjunction in 2019,
20.
it was December 2019, correct? With the
no, it was
the January
2020 January.
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, our world has completely changed. It's completely changed.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be the same. Because it's a collective. And even people who aren't going to be alive, like generations to come, are going to be shaped by that moment in some way.
Absolutely. And so the way I also see it, it's like, so that's happened last year, 2020, in January. And then I think doesn't Pluto go into Aquarius in 2023 and then comes back into Capricorn and then goes forever into Aquarius in 2024. So what I feel is happening since the conjunction till we go into Aquarius, it's like I keep kind of occasionally on my Instagram, reminding people, Pluto is still in Capricorn. We need to work the Capricorn themes if we were to become the Aquarian new world humans, like the most emancipated humans. So what happens when Pluto goes in Aquarius, I feel? We will, if we do the work of Pluto in Capricorn, we will be free of all the old crystallized and crusty and crumbly and just like, you know, dilapidated structures that we were hoping to rest on forever. Well, some people, not maybe you and I, but, you know. And to be free, we need to be free in a kind of Aquarian way to build a world that's far better, right? We need to do this Pluto in Capricorn world to really kind of cleanse. I mean, Pluto is like sewage as well. So it's like everything that's coming up from underneath, the dirtiest, the darkest within us as a soul, as souls, individual, but also societal. So it's, and family is a big one, which is one of the things I connected with you when I heard you talk about families. I was like, oh, woman after my own heart, because you were like saying, we can't, families are, old-fashioned construct. You know, not to say that you don't love your family. Of course you love your family. Unless you don't.
Family, the bloodline family. Yeah.
And it's like we need to, it's this whole kind of tribal clan like mentality needs to go away if we don't want to suffer under Pluto in Aquarius, and if we want to do right by Pluto in Capricorn. It's like love thy neighbor and love thy family if you do, and there's no judgment if you don't, because, well, that's just how it is. But to not romanticize family and not to be stuck by it, it's like a force of the past. We can't as children get free enough because we are held back. Not that parents are holding us back, we are letting them holding us back because we can't separate, we can't grow up.
Yeah.
You know, Capricorn, we can't.
Yeah. And it's reconciling all of that toxicity in those generational lines, right? That continuous toxicity. And with Capricorn, and you know, since you have Capricorn moon, you know this, it's like you have to regulate yourself and be your own leader, right? You're your own leader. You're not really looking or depending on somebody else, because Capricorns are very self-sufficient. So it's like, what resources can I tap into with other people as well, right? Not just family members, but people around me in my community. And that goes into that next Aquarius piece, right? When Pluto shifts into Aquarius in 2024, you know, for good. It's like, how do I work with others and utilize resources with others and actually lead community members and myself in my own journey, not being bogged down by people who don't give me adequate resources, psychological resources, physical resources, and even your health in general. If somebody is destroying your health because of you're tied to them, and some people aren't aware of that. I think, you know, that this Pluto and Capricorn has definitely shown us this as well, especially with the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, that your health can be destroyed very easily, you know, by the people that you're surrounding yourself with. It's vibrational, it's energy.
Absolutely. And I also feel like when you mentioned about, you know, connecting with people because you share, to create shared resources, to kind of, you know, create a better world or be a better business or better structure, whatever. I think there is like a piece there is, you know, Capricorn is a square to Libra. And I think this mentality, so that could be a shadow of Capricorn as well, but it's certainly of Libra as well, or well, both basically, which is that this mentality of safety in numbers also needs to go, in the sense that it's really how you approach anything that matters, not that you're approaching it or what it is that you're approaching. It's like your motive. So if we are gathering together because we fear, you know, being one or alone or the first to go to do something, then we are only multiplying the fear and we are bringing that energy into the group. But if we are coming to the group with this desire to build something, not because I fear being alone, I'm more than happy to be alone and do my own thing, but if we are together, we can bring together more and bigger, right? But good stuff, right? So this is what I mean, where the old mentality is like, oh, let's huddle together. Also the family archetype is about that, like, oh, we fear who's not like us. We fear, right? All of that is fear, right? So they're gathering together out of fear. That can't work. That can't last. And they only reproduce this fear, doesn't it? You know?
Definitely. Because what you're saying is like that whole safety in numbers, like we're creating this like human wall, which is so detrimental to everybody's psyche in general. So like every choice you make is based on that intention, that fearful intention.
Exactly.
So when we make choices based on a loving intention, we build a community based on love. And that's extremely liberating. That Pluto and Aquarius. So
yes. But while Pluto is in Capricorn, it's like we are held. This is, so if I have one message for anyone listening out there on like how to love Pluto in Capricorn, it's like it's the safest time to do shadow work. And I'm simplifying it, but it's because Capricorn is like the father figure and the mother figure or whoever is like, but the one that makes you feel safe. not necessarily the one that kind of coddles you or, you know, all that fluffy stuff, but it's like, you know, it builds you up to kind of hold yourself, it builds your spine, and right, so that's Capricorn. And so please, let's do all our own, let's clean up our own messes. And so that when we come into Aquarius, we're all like free of that. Not all past is wrong, goodness me, no, there is greatness in past, but not by definition, right? Just the one that kind of is translatable into the future, that will actually continue to support the humanity going forward, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
And not to rest on the old stuff that really doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. So structuring in a way where we feel safe within ourselves, because we know that we have control of ourselves, right? It's tapping into that, even though Capricorn, like in all the astrology books, it's feminine, but it really does feel masculine to me. It is that, like, because Saturn is masculine. It's like that grandfather energy, where, like, you're right, Maya, it's not this like comfy, like, I'm gonna wrap you up in a blanket and give you chicken soup. It's more like, I've got this. I've got all the resources for you, and you can trust me. I've got your back. I'm experienced. I'm wise.
You know what Capricorn is in terms of an archetype? It's Baba Yaga. I don't know if you know who Baba Yaga is. It's like the witch, the one in the fairy tales, the one that lives in the woods with the, you know, on the stalls, the houses, wooden, so the, you know, the skulls everywhere. So she's a scary crone. So it's the wild feminine, but like the old and wise, and it's a tough love archetype. So she doesn't cuddle you. She doesn't. It's like, well, you do your work, and it's like it's I adore tough love. Tough love to me is the best kind of love. It's like, don't soften me. I don't need you to soften me. I just need you to love me for who I am, and to actually. It's like Capricorn wants to. It's like the goat on the mountain, right, on his own, and it's the parent needs to be the one that would encourage me to go into that dangerous terrain, or that kind of, that's love to me, to trust and have faith in me. So that's like the crone, the Baba Yaga, that kind of goes, don't cry, don't get all like silly and sentimental with me, just get on with it, and you will, and then you get on with it and you go, wow, I've done this, check me out, right?
Yeah, it's like, just do it, just do it. And I'm going far, right? Like, dive into that pool, and I'm back here just in case you start drowning, and I'll jump in, I'll come get you, but I'm not getting in that pool with you otherwise. Like, you're not going to float on my back. You're jumping in, and I'm stepping in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this belief that you can do it on your own, and the moment they believe in you that you can do it on your own, you realize and find out you can. And that's the Capricorn gift. And it's like, and you know, like with my clients, or I used to be a coach before I kind of threw myself into astrology as a kind of consultation service, as it were. And I used to say to my clients, I'm not helping you. I'm helping you to help yourself.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
That's Capricorn.
I'm giving you the tools.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how to use them.
But I'm not doing the work.
Right. But you got to do it on your own.
Exactly.
It's your choice. So, like, you're right, it's absolutely tough love. And I'm even thinking about, like, my parenting. I'm like, okay, well, you see what happens with that. I love you regardless, but I'm not going to leave you unless it's necessary. It's like, you don't intervene unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, we're not horrible. We won't let you drown, right? Of course. But I'll probably wait till the last minute. I think, God, I've got to get in, otherwise really, we're done, right? But I'll wait till that moment to jump in. Because, like, how else are you going to learn? How else are you going to be your own Capricorn on top of the mountain, right? Once I'm out, gone. I mean, I'm not a parent myself, so I can't speak from that. But still, it's the same, you know, either clients or, you know, friends, even, you know, whatever. That kind of support. So I'm here, but only in that capacity of just like kind of giving you the tools, like you say, because I've tried them. So as well, there's that kind of integrity. I know what I'm talking about because I've done it. So I'm not just like spouting philosophies that I haven't lived. So there's that. Capricorn is realistic, right? It kind of like, it's done it the hard way. He learned it the hard way. So
learning the hard way means learning lessons because Capricorn is wise, right? So it's like, how are you supposed to gain wisdom if you don't let people fail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly, Kat. And yeah, it sounds like watchful but not overprotective love. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm here, I've got you, I'm your parachute, but I'm not like right here with the parachute. I'm like all the way down here with the parachute. It's like I'm down at the bottom. I'm not right here at the second floor with the parachute. So yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So Maya, you have your ninth house Capricorn moon. And how many degrees? At 9 degrees, you said? Okay,
90
so
degrees.
yeah, so how has this time period, which is a vast time period, but how do you think it's affected you? Like, how have you transformed because of this Pluto and Capricorn? And at one time, it did conjunct your moon, right? I would say, like, what, 2009, 2010, it probably conjuncted?
Was yes, it was also remember it was about because it was retrograding obviously so and I'm kind of counting few degrees in the run up and then few degrees after the influence is there like couple of degrees
Right.
probably so it was from about 2010 to 2012 13
Yeah.
I felt it and oh my god it was I miss it I wish it was transiting again over my moon
Wow.
it was the making of me. Well, no, it was the unmaking of me.
Okay.
And then Saturn came across last year and sat there for the whole year, literally started retrograding on my moon. So the whole 2018, so that's years later after my Pluto conjunct my moon. And that was the making of me. So the soul work that I was initiated into when Pluto conjunct my moon was then the results of that came when so the results right Saturn right when Saturn joined my moon. So I love that parable if you like the narrative arc. So when Pluto was on my moon, oh my god, I felt well partly I felt invincible but so what I want to say about Pluto, there's one piece that I like saying and I'll use this opportunity to say it again, which is that I've heard this quote, and I don't know who from. If anyone knows, you can tell me who. I don't know who. It wasn't me, but I've heard it that fear is excitement without breath. And so,
Yeah.
like I say, it helped that my life is overall safe. I have no real, I'm well taken care of by the universe and by myself and by my loved ones or whatever. So I don't really ever have to face a majorly difficult life situation. But I had my inner demons to talk, to go to Olympics with them. I mean, it's just, endless line of them. So I was having to face them. But my point is that there was this sense of like facing these darker side of me, fearing them, but actually being excited about, I am like that. Am I really like that? Oh my
Yeah.
God. I have that quality about me, but it's like, oh my God, I can't really say it. I can't really live it maybe because no one's going to like me. So there was that piece, but I was actually getting excited about facing and kind of allowing these parts of me to come up because they were magnificent. They were a bit dark, a bit, a bit, well, just Plutonic and Capricornian,
Yeah.
not exactly nice and sweet, not
Right.
at all, but I felt the power of them, right? I felt the power of them. And it
Mhm.
was like, and I felt so like alive. It's like, you know what Pluto is? Pluto is like this sense of, um, like if it's Uranus is when you're plugged into electricity, so it's very electrifying, but it kind of feels like bzzz, where
Yeah.
this is like being plugged into a volcanic force, like this constant rumble, like
Yeah.
of this power, of this sense of, oh my God, I'm capable. I've done things, I've faced stuff, and I've faced people and situations during that time. I'm looking back, I'm like, bloody hell. I had some guts. I mean, I would have never dreamt. And now I'm like, well, I can do it again. But at the time, it was terrifying, but it was that terrifying, exciting. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
how about you when it
Sure.
crossed over your ascendant? Sorry if you wanted to say something else. I'm dying to hear of your ascendant.
Yeah. I just wanted to like compliment you on what you said there of how powerful you feel during that time. And it makes you realize like I've had these tools the whole entire time. They were sitting inside of me and now they come out and you realize like how amazing you are and how much control you actually have over your circumstances, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
Spot on. You have summed up my very emotive expression perfectly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mercury in Capricorn, you have just nailed it. You
Yes.
made a little sculpture on me. Thank you, Sarah. So,
Well,
so
so yeah. So you
and
want to
how
ask
was it?
about
So,
when for me? So
yes, yes, yes.
yeah,
Sun and ascendant, please.
yeah. So
How was
first, I just want to talk about like when it went over my Mercury. So I have 3 degrees Mercury, and
okay.
actually when it started going going over my Mercury, that's when I left banking industry, and it's before it crashed. I knew intuitively, Maya, I was working for Bank of America, and I won't go into like all the shadiness that was going on there, but I knew something very shady was going on. Kendra, yeah, I'm going to go over the Capricorn rising bit in a minute. But yeah, I got out, and I actually went back to school to get my teaching certification. And it didn't take too long because I already had like all the requirements except like the student teaching hours and whatnot. So I was working the bank, and I went back to school, and then like right away in 2008 I got my teaching job. So like utilizing the power of my voice during that time and organizing the classroom, and I didn't realize I had that in me. Like I'm a very like one-on-one person because my moon in Cancer in the 7th house. Like I love those one-on-one relationships. I'm awesome at them. But because my 11th house in Sag, it's my Uranus is there, and I'm like not the best with group activities, and I'm trying to fix that situation. Trying to sharpen my skills there. But when it went over my ascendant about 2 years ago, so I think I'm like 23 degrees on my ascendant, and I'm 26 on my sun. So right now it's on my sun. Yeah. So
How does it feel? Sorry, carry on, carry on.
yeah. So I feel amazing. I will tell you, I feel liberated. I feel like I was in jail in my own body for years, in my own psyche. I feel completely like a different person, but not like this like night and day, like where did she come from? No, I feel integrated. I feel
Oh
integrated.
my God.
So all that dark stuff I transmuted into I guess, my best strengths. So,
Exactly.
so like I had all this past life stuff, and I can get into that in another live, another time. And I had to heal that in order to actually fully heal other people. Because I was healing other people when I was teaching, because I work with special needs students. And a lot of them were gaining confidence because like no one had ever, or very few people had ever even recognized that they were worthwhile before. And
Mm.
that felt very validating, but I didn't realize how much was missing within myself at that time. So when Pluto went over my ascendant, I started writing again. So I hadn't done any writing, and I went to school for creative writing.
Okay.
Really, like since I graduated college in 2005, I was like afraid to do writing. I was afraid of it. So I started writing again, and then my best friend and her husband are like, "You need to send this stuff out." So I started sending it out, and I started getting some recognition for it. Um, so yeah, I was writing a lot, but now that Pluto is going over my sun, like the minute it went over my sun, which is crazy that this happened, I felt the need to leave teaching. I was like, I'm leaving teaching. The traditional classroom. Like I'll teach on
Yes, yes, yes.
here or whatever, but the brick and mortar classroom, I'm done with that for now. So I went back into astrology because I'm from the Sirius star seed family. If ever anybody knows about that, I've done some work with that, and I've always been interested in that, but I was afraid to show that. I was afraid like of being
Mm.
judged, and yeah, I just left. So I'm like, I put up my Instagram page, and I'm like, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna roll the dice here. So like everything that I wanted to do, I just like fully committed. I fully committed 100%. So like I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, it's life changing. And I kind of feel like bad for people who never get this opportunity, right? Because not everyone gets this opportunity.
I am so with you there. I mean, I'm so glad you said it as well because I'm jealous. Sorry, I just might as well say it and name it. I have a couple of friends or close people who are Capricorn rising. Also, there quite a few Aquarius rising, so they're gonna have this. Me, no, I'm not gonna live to survive my own. But and I just what your description of it is Pluto medicine in action. It's like
Yeah,
look how you embraced it. Look how you just and I don't even know if you can. I don't even think you have a choice with Pluto, really. I mean,
no,
you do not have a choice. I mean, you can kick and scream, but eventually you just have to do whatever it's asking you, right? And so
right.
better to go along with it, which is it sounds like what you've done.
Yeah,
Um,
gotta own it.
and what, yeah, only and then what you get integrated, like you said, and I just love the language. It's like all the darkness, like whatever you may have had, as we all have, right? With Pluto there, you just kind of turn it into your strengths. I mean, that's the beauty of shadow work. And so I just want to say, so I don't have that. Um, I'm sorry, quickly thinking on my feet. So what I have is Uranus is now doing what Pluto's doing to you.
Yeah,
So Uranus is not on my sun. It's about a few degrees away, like 2 degrees, and it's now retrograding, or is it going to retrograde soon? And it's interesting, like when Pluto was on my moon and then Saturn was on my moon, actually I was going to ask you that question. I know we have about 10 more minutes, don't we? So I was just going to say the language that you talk about with Pluto on your sun is the kind of language of my Pluto moon, Saturn moon. It's like it's the shadow work and it's sense of integration. Uranus on my sun is a sense of liberation in the sense that I don't even care if I'm integrated. I'm just going, I'm just like, whatever's there, it's going, like it or not. I mean, so it's like that, just bursting out into the
yeah,
scenes with everything hanging off me. I'm not fully made up. I don't have the best clothes. I don't care. I'm a
yeah.
weirdo. I don't care. And yeah, and I'll worry about it later. It'll come. And actually, the experience of Uranus there, and I know this is not the topic, but I just wanted to compare the language, is about exactly that kind of um, accepting yourself in not necessarily even looking for the strength or even the shadow work. It's just like, hey, this is who I am, looking as wonky as I do, and Uranus gives you that sense of electricity of like, yeah, I have that. I don't need to worry about that detail anymore. It's that sense of you're free of all that kind of unnecessary worry, right?
Right. Yeah. And I think also like it's easier when, you're not 22 years old anymore to feel like that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like it's coming at the right time for you
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
you know how to be free of that judgment now. Because if you think about how all that judgment that you were actually projecting upon other people for all those years was just a waste of time, like that's why it's like who cares, right? Like I'm done with that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely spot on that. And I was just going to ask you if you don't mind before I don't know if we're wrapping up, but I know we have to. Um, when Pluto was opposite your moon,
Mm-hmm.
how was that? Oh, hold on, that's now. What am I on about? Is it when is your
Well,
where is your moon?
Bill was okay. So I have 11 degrees Cancer and my moon. So I'm trying to
Ah,
think when it was probably like 2014, 15,
yes,
correct?
yes, exactly.
Okay. So when that happened, let's see, my daughter was like 4 or 5. So I'll tell you what happened. So we actually moved overseas.
Ah,
Yeah. And
that was in your 12th house.
it was, yeah.
Pluto.
Yeah. So we moved overseas, and at first, my husband had a job, but I really didn't have like a full time job because, like I was a stay home mom for a couple years. So they were kind of like hesitant or whatever to hire me. But then eventually they did. And I think it was when it stopped transiting, my was not opposing my moon anymore, but I had to learn how to like navigate a different kind of, country and culture, and I felt kind of alone. So I had to do like a lot of inner work, and
Ah,
just like being alone in a foreign country, like, I'm sure you can relate to that. Move to a different country, and I don't know, like, if is English your native tongue, Maya?
no, 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 it's not. And actually, doesn't it? And you were in a country of a different language, yeah?
Yeah,
Not
and
non-English.
Taiwan. So
Oh,
completely,
Taiwan, sorry.
yeah. I mean, there's
Doesn't that teach you so much about you when you're, doesn't it teach you so much about you when you leave your home into
yeah,
a culture that's so different? It was, yeah, that's what England did to me as well. It is such a like seeing it's remarkable. It's like seeing everything about you and your background and your beliefs and everything that made you up from like a distance. Like I could see it. It's like I had a major distance of like I could now see where I'm all, whatever, wonky or strong or happy or
yeah,
not. So it's crazy. I was, yeah. And then having to adjust like
yeah,
to that.
exactly.
It's
I had to become like super adaptable to
mm,
what they were doing there. I mean, like, even the cuisine was very different. So just
mm.
adjusting to that was a little difficult at first. I'm a very like adventurous food person. I have a lot of Sag in my chart, so I think that's why. But um, it was still like difficult not to like have my dietary routine there, and like just like go to the grocery store and get certain items. I'm sure you completely could relate to this, because it's like you're used to like certain kind of foods or whatever from your own home country, or even like products um like makeup products, or like soaps that I was like, I can't find this soap, like what is this, what is going on? So it's like I had to become super adaptable and
Mm.
like face that, especially at the Cancer moon. It's all about like homey kind of stuff, so I had to like
Mm.
redefine what home meant to me.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Beautiful. And you're
yeah.
back to Europe now, yeah?
Yeah, we're back here, and I don't plan on going overseas, especially right now with everything.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we're back here, and I'm actually like very physically, like geographically close to a lot of my family here, and we see each other sometimes. But it feels really more stable in a way being here. But I know now, like, whatever happens in life, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, like wherever you are, you can adapt, right?
And I was gonna add, whatever happens and wherever I am, I've got me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Really. And that's kind of all I can worry about, really, and all I can know. I mean, it's obviously great to be able to rely on other people. Sometimes, I mean, I don't do it often, I don't think. Um, yeah, but it's that sense that as long as I've got me, I'm okay.
Right. Right.
And
100%.
yeah, so
Yeah. 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 Because if you're not stable or sure within yourself, you're not aligned in yourself, it doesn't matter where you are. You're gonna feel you're gonna feel like crap, and you're gonna be all over the place because
yeah,
you haven't aligned yourself. So, like you said, you can be in Paris, you can be in Timbuktu or Perth, Australia. It doesn't matter where you are, because you know who you are. You know you got this. You're grounded.
and that's like a great example of like I don't know if maybe I certainly had these experiences. Like I'd go on holiday like years ago, and in Paris or in another kind of beautiful place, as holidays always are, at least one stays. And I would be still like not enjoying something or having a bad day in the middle of this amazing place,
Yeah,
this new, because I am not good that day. And it's
right.
like it's in the ruins. It's like almost like it's not even about, it's not about that necessarily. But my point is, it is really, unless we are good with ourselves, nothing around us can make up for not being good with ourselves, you know? And if anything, it just makes everything even worse. It's like we're faced with ourselves in our, all of a sudden, oh, and it's not what I expected, and it's not, and it's, the weather's not right, and it's actually just me complaining about me, right?
Right.
In a, not knowing unless I'm tuned in and aware.
Right, because you have these almost unreasonable expectations of how things should look, and
Mm.
we just have to go with the flow, right? I think that's a really powerful message that you said, like, it's not the weather, it's not the restaurant was closed or whatever, it's you. Like, you weren't right. And, you know, you can be in the most beautiful city with the people that you enjoy the most, and you can just not be having a good day because it's you. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I'm out of alignment somehow, in
yeah.
some sense, you know. And then it's a holiday, so you don't want to be doing shadow work while you're on holiday. Well, you know, so you end up ruining the day instead of really taking a couple of hours just sitting with, you know, under the shade with your journal and just sorting yourself out.
Yeah. It's such a Capricorn thing that we're talking about. Like, it's up to you. It's you. See, personal responsibility. So I know both of us have to go, but like that is really the main message here. It's like with this Pluto and Capricorn, it's all about personal responsibility, building your own structures up within yourself so that you can actually relate to others and
Mm.
about whatever happens in this world in a really solid way. So being that being strong, being solid, being able to keep being that leader that you are within your own life. Yeah.
Spoken like a true Mercury in Capricorn. I love how you wrapped it up. Thank you. I just want to say I have nothing to add. That's beautifully summarized. And I just love doing this chat with you. It was so energizing and so wonderful, and love listening to you outside of this as well. I just love your content. So, Sarah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
And we'll have to do it over at my side sometime soon again. Pick a topic
yeah.
and we'll just do another live. Definitely.
I would love that. It was so wonderful chatting with you. And I really appreciate you coming on with me today. And I think it's evening there, isn't it?
Well, it's summer, so it goes dark around 10, but
Okay.
it's 6 o'clock. So my partner's back from work, so we're going out now to just local kind of a little stroll, and then we're going to have a little dinner that I'm cooking, and just going to be a nice Friday night here. So hopefully you're having fun as well where you are.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful time with your partner. And thanks, Kat, man. I appreciate that. And I am so happy
Yes.
that you're join us. And I'll save this. And yeah, I'll save it. So I'll
Oh,
see
yeah,
you
yes, absolutely. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sarah.
soon.
Bye bye. Bye.